Good evening. It's Tuesday, September 30th, and it's the end of the month, and it's time for the recap and the kickoff into October. Let's just get right into it. I got to do this one quick because I don't have a lot of time. This month, like every month, I set off to lose 5 pounds for my main weight loss goal. I started at 206 pounds, if I recall, and I finished up, unfortunately, 207 pounds. So I technically gained a pound. Not great. Kind of getting bored of the whole fluctuating up and down 1 or 2 pounds and not doing any real weight loss. So I'm going to have to make some changes for October to remedy that situation. But for now, the status is pretty much no change. So that's pretty much a fail on the weight loss goal. Video production goal. Last month, I went above and beyond and I released a video mid-month. I didn't do that this month. I did have a couple ideas of videos that I might do or just short things that I might do. Just didn't get around to those. I had a lot going on this month and I'll get to some of that later on. This one's going to be the tightest deadline. It's in the middle of the week. It's a Tuesday. I had work today. I'm recording this after work. I have work tomorrow and we have cyclocross practice tomorrow. So I'm probably going to have to film and at least do some editing tonight. And then hopefully I'll have enough time after practice tomorrow to finish editing and then I'll release it, hopefully before midnight. This one's going to be cutting it close, but if I can make this one work, I think I can make any of them work. Anyway, first 2 goals, like usual, we got a fail on the weight loss goal. We got a success on the video goal. Let's get into the secret goals. This month I had 3 secret goals. 2 of which were kind of that progressive secret goal I was talking about last time, where it was going to be less about I want to achieve this one thing and more about I want to do this thing every day. Unsurprisingly, those are the ones I didn't do so great on. So I'm going to start with the one that I failed the most at, which is the goal to get to bed by 10 p.m. every night, which is a tall order, but the phrasing is very important. Doesn't mean go to sleep at 10 p.m. That's pretty much impossible for me. I just wanted to get my body into bed by 10. Doesn't matter if I'm doom scrolling or if I fall asleep right away. As long as I'm in bed by 10 p.m., that was going to be fine. I kept that up for about a week. I don't know if I did it every single day that week, but I tried to at least start with that goal, and it was kind of working. Obviously, the point of that goal is to improve my sleep schedule, wake up earlier, just get more sleep in general. I don't get a lot of sleep. For that first week, I felt like it did kind of help me at least feel more tired at night, and made it easier to wake up early when I wanted to do that, which I did on a couple occasions. But after the first week, it's not even that I couldn't do it, I just kind of forgot that was something I was supposed to be doing, and I forgot enough times in a row that it was just not happening. So I failed that goal pretty badly, but I think that's one that if I can keep up with it, it will work. So we'll see. Maybe we'll try that again. Maybe I'll modify that or something for another goal. The next secret goal that I kind of failed but succeeded slightly was I wanted to stretch every single day. I'd say I got about half the time I remembered to stretch. This is another one that it was just a matter of not remembering to do it. Yeah, wasn't too bad. I think it actually was a good goal, and I think I'm going to continue doing it. I don't know about every day, but I'm going to try to remember to do it on a regular basis. Before I got into cycling, I used to get lower back pain a lot, but now that I regularly exercise, I don't really get that ever, which is kind of cool. But there's certain movements that are difficult because my muscles are tight. I started doing these stretches several years ago when I had to go to physical therapy for my ankle. Maybe I'll cut in some B-roll. Probably not, because I don't have a lot of time. But basically, I'm doing a calf stretch. I'm doing a quad stretch. I'm doing this. I don't know what this is. Maybe it's a hamstring. I don't know. You put your foot up on a thing, point your toe back, and it stretches that out. I added in a hip flexor stretch, I think. My buddy Andy showed me. I basically did those stretches like every other day, the whole month, and felt pretty good. One thing that's definitely improved is my quads, because I'm a cyclist and I'm short and I have fairly strong legs. My quads are really, really tight, especially my right quad. I assume because I'm stronger on my dominant side. So when I do the quad stretch, this thing, I could always do that pretty easily on my left side, but on my right side, I couldn't even get into the stretch without assistance. I would have to like put my foot on a chair and do like this weird thing because my quad and my whole right side, it was just all tight. It's still pretty tight, but I can get into that stretch at least. It feels crazy that that's how tight my muscles are, but it's getting better. I might need to learn some more stretches. These are all pretty much lower body. I don't really know any upper body stretches. Upper body tightness isn't really that big of a problem for me, except for like long rides, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, I technically failed that goal, I guess, but I consider it a success in that I feel less tight, and I think that's something I'm going to keep doing. It's pretty low stakes, doesn't take very long. Stay stretching, stay limber. Okay, now to the third and final secret goal. This one I succeeded at with flying colors. Let me tell you what. This goal was simple to begin with. I just wanted to get my motorcycle license, your M endorsement they call it in Wisconsin. Basically just means you can ride motorcycles or scooters over 50 cc's. I've always been interested in scooters since like high school, I think. Never got into it because of that whole, well, A, I couldn't really afford them when I was young, and B, you have to get that motorcycle endorsement to ride anything above 50 cc. So, my buddy Andy also was starting to get interested in scooters and motorcycles lately. He actually bought a moped from a friend of ours for like $500, and he's been tooling around on that, having a lot of fun. And we just decided, let's get our licenses. So that was my goal for this month, to get my license. We did the MSF course, the Motorcycle Safety Foundation runs these courses. For us, it was a 2-day thing, about 10 hours on the course. You learn about safety, good technique, being smooth, all this stuff. And it's all in a very controlled environment, basically just riding around in a parking lot. And if you pass that course, you get your M endorsement without having to do a road test. You just take this course, pass the skills test at the end of the course, do your written test, and then you get your endorsement. So that's what we did. We signed up with a company called Pro Motorcycle Training. They do training out in a parking lot at a high school in New Berlin. So we did that for a couple weekends, riding these super slow, heavy Royal Enfield Meteor 350s. They were great to learn on because they're slow and they had crash bars and everything. We both passed. Actually, neither of us got any points off for the skills test. We got full score. Yeah, we got our licenses. And the next weekend, I went out and I bought a motorcycle. That was not part of my goal, but I guess I consider that to be extra credit or a stretch goal. Got my license, bought a motorcycle. I went down to Moto Union in West Dallas, checked out some of their stuff. I had done a ton of research online. I kind of already knew what I wanted, but I just went to check out a few. And I also went out to Triumph and Waukesha to see how those felt to sit on. As a shorter person, there's not a lot of options out there, especially for beginner motorcycles. So it was pretty much between the Royal Enfield Guerrilla 450 and the Triumph Speed 400. They both are pretty similar bikes. The 450 is a little more powerful. The Speed's a little lightweight, a little more lightweight. Slightly different styling, but they're both that modern classic sort of retro style. And I ended up going with the Guerrilla. Picked it up last week Tuesday, and I've ridden it every single day since then. It's so fun, let me tell you. Riding motorcycles is fun. I highly recommend it. Riding scooters is fun too. Andy let me tool around on his scooter for a little bit, but once we got into the course and we learned how the clutch works, we learned all that sort of stuff, kind of just felt like we might as well do the motorcycle thing. So yeah, I've been having a great time riding this motorcycle. I put almost 200 miles on the odometer already. It's going great. I rode at highway speeds today for the first time. I took it over the Home Bridge over lunch, partially to get some footage, but also because I wanted to see how it was at that speed. Definitely feels like I should have a windshield at that speed because there's a lot of wind. Anyway, motorcycles are fun, and that goal was a resounding success. If you're interested in motorcycles and you want to see motorcycle content, I'm certainly no expert. I have 3 weeks under my belt, but if you want to know anything about my motorcycle or how the process works, anything like that, certainly let me know. I don't really have any plans to film on the motorcycle much. Might do some of that eventually too. Who knows? I'm pretty much just treating it as a toy and for some level of commuting. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. That was it for the secret goals. I pretty much failed big time on losing weight. I'm making the videos, did not go to sleep at 10 every night. I did stretch about half the time, and I think that helped. And I've been steeped in the motorcycle lifestyle for the past couple weeks, and it's great. But that pretty much wraps it up for the goals. I really need to focus on the weight loss next month, I think. So don't be surprised if most or all of the secret goals are related to weight loss, at least tangentially. We'll see. Haven't come up with those goals yet. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.